job as general manager of the Yellowstone Park Association. And that was a pretty good association. They did a lot of improvements to the park, helped reconstruct some of the wagon roads into the park, and also helped construct the Lake Hotel, which Mr. Waters became the first general manager of the Lake Hotel. And for a while, he treated his employees very well. Was a pretty good general manager, and then started to get into some shady things with some of his employees, which I can't talk about. And Mr. Waters was also a very heavy investor into the Northern Pacific Railroad, which also did a lot to help make Yellowstone a national park. One day, Mr. Waters had several friends from the Northern Pacific come visit him, and Mr. Waters thought he would go out and show them a good time. And so he took them down to the Old Faithful area and took them to Beehive Geyser. And it was thought of that if you would dump soap into a geyser, it would make it much more flamboyant. The military was managing Yellowstone National Park at that time before the National Park Service took over, and Mr. Waters, yes, was caught dumping soap into Beehive Geyser. Well, he fell out of favor with the military very fast. He did some naughty things with some of the employees. He got fired from his job as the Yellowstone Park Association general manager and the general manager of the Lake Hotel. Well, then Mr. Waters thought he would get into the boat business. And so he organized the Yellowstone Lake Boat Company, had the Zilla brought out here, but to get passengers to ride the boat, the Zilla, you would have to entice them to get off the stagecoaches and pay an extra ticket. So to do that, he paid the stagecoach drivers 50 cents per head if they could get their passengers to leave the stagecoach and ride on the boat. And what stagecoach driver wouldn't like to make a little bit of extra money? So he did that for a while. And then to entice people to get on his boat as well, he also got oral permission from the park superintendent to build a small zoo on Dot Island on the southern end of Yellowstone Lake. So he had 5 bison hauled in from Texas, took them over to Dot Island, and had some elk taken over there as well. And for a while, Mr. Waters did pretty good, took very good care of his animals. During the winter months, he would pen them up over by the Lake Hotel. Well, Mr. Waters started to get greedy. Some of his investments started to go south. He built that very large boat. Several of his investments went south, and so he decided he's not going to take care of the animals anymore, and he's not going to pay the stagecoach drivers any extra money. And so, several complaints started to come into the park superintendent. And in 1907, in the fall, once the animals were brought back over here, because several of them were very malnourished, the park superintendent ordered that the gates be opened and that the animals be set free. And then this notice went out to Mr. Waters on October 16th of 1907. It says, "Notice, E.C. Waters, president of the Yellowstone Lake Boat Company, having rendered himself obnoxious during the season of 1907, is debarred from the park and will not be allowed to return without permission from the Secretary of the Interior and the Superintendent of the park." So Mr. Waters was kicked out of Yellowstone National Park. He actually never recovered, died a poor man, and died in an insane asylum about 20 years later. So unfortunately for Mr. Waters, things kind of didn't work out, but he was kind of the ones that try to maybe exploit things just a little bit. Tried to take advantage, and if people like E.C. Waters were running Yellowstone, maybe there would be townhomes and condos all the way around the park. And America is great. We were the ones to come up with the national park idea. That is our gift to the world. In America, we also have a free business society. And I know sometimes they clash at times, and it's up to you which one you like more. I think they're both great at times. And other than that, thank you folks for listening to me. I'm going to turn it back over to Captain Richard, and have a great day.